In the last section, we used the Flutter command line tool to generate a new project directory called Pix. So this is going to be the first application that we're going to work on, and we're going to come back to that folder in just a little bit. First, however, we're going to spend a little bit of time to set up both the Android emulator and the iOS simulator on our local machines. Now, just to be clear, you do not have to set up both Android and iOS on your local machine. You have to do at least one of them, but you don't have to do both. In this section in particular, we're going to walk through the process of setting up Android on a macOS machine. So if you don't want to go through the Android setup, totally fine. Pause the video right now and skip on to the next one, or next one or two for that matter, where we're going to go through the process of setting up macOS with the iOS simulator. Okay, so if you're still here, we'll start the Android setup. I'm going to again open up my web browser and navigate to the Getting Started guide at flutter.io. Once over here, I'll find the the section labeled Android Setup. I'm going to click on that, and then step one is to install Android Studio. So I'm going to follow the link that is presented right here. Here's Android Studio. We're going to download Android Studio. Now this is a rather large file, so go ahead and start that download. Once you have successfully downloaded the file, which I've already done right here, all you have to do to install this is double-click that DMG. You'll see this window appear. You're going to take Android Studio right here, and you're just going to drag it over into Applications, like so. So make sure you go through that process. When we come back together in the next section, I'm going to assume that you've already successfully downloaded that file and dragged that icon over to the Applications folder. So quick pause, we'll come back to the next section, and we'll continue with the setup of Android Studio. In the last section, we downloaded Android Studio. We then extracted that and installed it into our applications directory on our local machine. We're now going to open up Android Studio and use it to create a new emulator, which we're going to use to execute our Flutter code. So to open up Android Studio, I'm going to open up my Finder window. I'll find the applications directory, and then I can simply double-click on Android Studio right here. And the first time that you set it up, or the first time you open Android Studio, it might ask you if you want to import any settings. You can just say, no, I don't want to import anything. After you get past that window, you'll see a welcome screen like this right here. So we're just going to get through this wizard as quickly as we can. I'm going to click on Next. I'll select Standard. I'll hit Next. We'll then be presented with a couple of different things that need to be downloaded right here. And so these are all tools that are going to be automatically downloaded and installed, and they are all required to successfully run Flutter applications on your local machine. So I'll click on Finish, and then we'll see these kind of download process occur. Now this is going to be a rather large number of files, so we're going to take another break right here, and we'll continue in the next section when all that download stuff is complete.